see it in the background, he was already going backwards.
Oh, front and rear.
Ooh, that's not good. Red flag. The session has been red flagged, so we can get on and recover the stricken Toro Rosso.
It's exactly what confidence is, because every lap he goes into there now for this weekend, he's going to be thinking about it.
Oh, sorry, Karoon, I'm going to cut in there. First session has gone off there at turn 14 towards the end of that particular lap. No damage done on this one.
Putting the wheel on the grass on the outside.
So Antonio Giovinazzi goes for a spin that was a bit unintended there. As he gets on the power, onto the curb, Johnny. There you go.
Just a little bit on that sausage curve, and that just was enough to let the rear end sort of spin on him there.
It's time to get going. It's lights out and away we go. Bottas gets away well. He's alongside Lewis Hamilton and he's making good progress. And there back is Daniel Ricciardo losing his front wing going into turn 1. Daniel Ricciardo has had an absolute shocker in his home Grand Prix. Riding on board as he tries to make a move past Perez, gets onto the grass, and that I think is where he lost his front wing. It just got a bit too bumpy, and he did very well to keep out of everyone's way going into turn 1.
Spanner hit the front wing.
Here we go, so he's lost it on the exit of turn 2, before he's even got to the right-hander, on power. And around it goes. Oh, that was really low grip.
I mean,
you can see.
You've got tyre warmers. Of course, this year they've taken the blankets and reduced them.
Turn 2 gets on the power, bit of a twitch, and then it goes round. So, so you've got to keep the rear in check through that corner. It's notoriously difficult.
Ball with Carlos Sainz now, and he really can see that rear wing of Verstappen getting very large. He can't see it now. He's got past him. Can he get past him and make the move stick? Did they make contact? Verstappen keeps hold of the place. He's 5th, Sainz 6th.
Verstappen very late on the brakes, and his damage for Sainz. Right front.
And we can watch here and see what happened with Giovinazzi and Danny Kvyat. Well, it was Giovinazzi driving into the Russian.
Here we go again.
DRS wide open. This time it's only Hamilton. Vettel wonders where he's going. Hamilton goes round the long way, round the outside once again. He's off the track once again, and Sebastian Vettel's lost it. Coming out of turn 4, Lewis Hamilton gets past and moves up into 2nd place.
I think his left rear's damaged. I think he'll have to come in. He just gave it a boot full of throttle, and the rear tyres couldn't cope with the demand.
So this is the exit of the corner. And that is a sight that Sebastian Vettel and his fans don't want to see.
Once again, it was Hamilton being adventurous, and ambition well ahead of adhesion, and he has damaged that left rear tyre, and his front wing's gone for good measure.
His front wing has gone, the front left tyre damaged, the rear tyres as well, immediately calling to the team to shout box, box, box.
Yeah, so he's had another incident somewhere then.
Well, here comes the Williams then of Kubica, and there it just goes.
Oh, it's really scary when it does that. So he's clearly damaged the front wing on the curb. Sometimes that gets underneath your front wheels and you just toboggan to the nearest hard thing.
Oh, look how it was oscillating, Martin, before, and you could see the vibrations. George Russell it was in the Williams. Show you what it looked like from on
So you
board.
see the sheen on the tyres there, the brand new, and you see it's very slow speed as well.
As we watch Valtteri Bottas coming out of the pits. Oh, and someone's hit the barriers at the final corner. It's a big, big accident. He's gone wide out of the final turn and sent the car spinning around. Now he's moving, and that's great to see.
Sorry, guys.
Are you okay, Alex? P1 stops the engine. P1 stops the engine.
Yeah, turns into the left-hander, gets on the astroturf. Oh,
got a tax slapper on and actually hit the outside barrier there.
Yeah.
And yeah, just way too much exuberance on the loud pedal while on the AstroTurf, and just a big tax slapper into the barriers. High energy impact there.
I caught it out of the corner of my eye here in our commentary box, because we actually have a view looking straight down onto it. And I could see that it was a massive accident from the word go.
Oh, he's gone around.
So that's Max Verstappen.
Now, as long as he doesn't drop to the back of the field, he can make his way back through 1,000 horsepower.
And there is Robert Kubica in the Williams, who might just have done, Martin, something very similar to what happened to Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez, very late on the brakes, gets ahead, and Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault, and Fiat's gone into Norris, and they're out of the race, and Sainz has picked up damage as well. Teenager getting a little bit of a sore back from that, I wouldn't imagine. This is what it looked like on board Lando Norris's McLaren. It didn't look very good at all for Lando Norris.
So he goes in all right.
The impact sensor.
He's on the right line. He locks up a bit on the front. Oh, he's just lost the rear on the mid-corner on throttle. Too keen getting on the power. Yeah, it was that lock-up going into the corner, sent him into the corner too quickly.
Grosjean can't get out of Q1, and that is a very big bang into the walls indeed. This is what happened to Robert Kubica.
Well, he was very committed to the inside curve there. I know they've all been jumping it, but he was almost touching the wall on the inside, wasn't he? That was a hard hit.
And there's another big crash. It is Charles Leclerc.
I am stupid. I am stupid. I switch off everything.
You just see here, is he going to touch the inside?
Oh,
he's locked the front.
Too much speed approaching the corner.
Yeah, and he didn't bail out, did he?
Oh, Charles Leclerc, you have to feel for the young man, 21 years of age. And there's two cars down there, Daniel Ricciardo and also Danny Kvyat. Kvyat, I think, locks up a little bit. Ricciardo certainly locks up, goes straight on, and might just have collected the Toro Rosso as well.
He's just slightly overdone it, hasn't he? He's tried to break on the inside. Perfect defending by Kvyat, but Ricciardo just locking up, and you can see how long it takes to get these cars into reverse.
That's where it came. Ricciardo reversed into him. Oh dear. That's Lance Stroll, and he has gone into the barriers.
That's front line, isn't it?
Yeah.
He dropped it on the entry like Gasly and Hartley have done.
Oh, and that makes a difference. Too much speed into the corner on the brake.
Valtteri Bottas into the gravel.
Oh, this could spoil his day, couldn't it?
Cold tyres again. We've seen this happen so many times this year, haven't we? These cold tyres.
So into turn 4 we go, and as he said, came from out of nowhere.
It was really unusual, wasn't it?
That is the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg.
Suspension damage too. Yes, he's locked the right front. Now he's had to turn into a slide, and that horrible sick feeling. He might get away with the front suspension, actually.
Lando Norris has gone off. Lance Stroll has gone off with him in the racing points, and I wonder if this means a safety car. Norris has managed to get back out on the track. There's a lot of gravel as he goes right across the track there.
I'm sorry guys, I'm out. Can you bring the car back? Can you bring the car back? No, I can't. I'm sorry guys.
We can see this incident once again. Norris on the inside catches that right-left wheel of the racing point, and yeah, to blame. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the stewards have a look at this one, because he hadn't made the corner.
Right, I'm going with a racing incident on that one.
Damage front wing. Yeah, copy that, Rob.
Up into one. Sorry for that.
What is your weather radar saying? Oh, that one didn't work.
It didn't work at all. Charles Leclerc's gone for it again. This time he tangles with the Renault. The gap was there, but quickly it disappeared.
Do you know what? The Ferrari spun by itself. I don't know if he's tapped the barrier on the inside, but the Renault didn't squeeze him. I think he hit the barrier with his right rear. And it's pushed him around. It's actually his own contact, so they're going to stack. But that puts Mercedes under pressure. Get his pit stop done very quickly, otherwise he's going to lose a place.
Right.
So
Bottas is away. Bottas is away, and that must be an unsafe release because Max Verstappen has come out at the same time. They very, very nearly touched as well. The Ferrari right behind of Sebastian Vettel. Verstappen looks like he's ahead of Bottas. He is ahead of Bottas in the pits. Valtteri Bottas has lost a place. They can't overtake. They're on the track. We've got a safety car, and there's bits of debris there coming off the Red Bull, it looked like.
No, it's coming off the track. There's debris everywhere.
Here goes Verstappen down the inside on Lewis Hamilton. They make contact. Hamilton has to cut the chicane. There was definite contact there as Verstappen sent one into the chicane to try and get past.
Yeah, just turns in, trying to overtake.
Braking now for the left-hander of 6. Just lost the back end as soon as he turned in. The back started to step out of line.
Oh, Vettel.
8-9 turns into the right-hander. Used the inside curve a little bit too hard. Put him out of position.
Yeah,
That's what happened. He went too deep to the right.
He got right out of shape, didn't he, Johnny?
He just completely throws the rear of the car out, bang, into the wall. That Bryn said that angle, awful.
That's a crash, and it is the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, and that's going to compromise his teammate Romain Grosjean, and that is a big accident there. Takes a bit of curb. Oh. Absolutely no avoiding that whatsoever.
He'd got it all lit up. He was driving for the line, but he's hit the wall at a sort of a 20-30 degree angle that's ripped the suspension.
This is Giovinazzi into turn 1. Oh, that was inevitable as soon as he clipped the curb. Lewis Hamilton thought there was a gap, but the wall and Sebastian Vettel moving to the right-hand side closed that gap down. Has Vettel just got away with an error and preserved his lead in this Canadian Grand Prix?
Back of the car stepped out as he turned in. The track falls away there down into turn 4. He was in the slipstream of some back markers. He hasn't. He then caught them in a really bad place. Let's see what happens. Yeah, the back just would not stick. That's bad news for him in terms of his absolute pace as well. They didn't do anything wrong. The back just would not live with the front there.
If you lose that, if you get that rotation and the tyre starts to slip, it's kind of gone. It's like pulling the handbrake.
Yeah, so he's lost it on the way into turn 8, yeah.
That back end stepped out very easily indeed, didn't it? I'm just going to butt in for 2 seconds. Pierre Gasly well and truly lost it into turn 4, and then the car span round as a result of it.
Here we go, turns into the apex, and at that dip, as the car goes through that dip in the road, the rear stepped out of line. I don't think we could put that down to a suspension failure like we saw from Kvyat. That was a driver error.
Valtteri Bottas has totally lost it and has rather wrecked the front end of that Mercedes.
Here we go,
and talking to his engineers.
Turns in, and just as he picked up the power, the rear end stepped out of line, caught him off guard there. That's a rare error. I don't think I've ever seen anyone hit the wall there, if I'm honest. We see people run wide, understeer out wide. I've never seen anyone hit that wall.
Oh, there goes Sebastian Vettel, and we've got another of the big 3.
Turns into the corner immediately on turn in. He's lost it there.
I spun on the pit exit, man.
Wow.
In a few different bits. Now, what do they have to do? Can he They can't push him back down the pit lane.
Well, no, he's driven out.
He's going to have to drive out, yeah. So he's going to have to do a whole 3.6 miles at slow speed to get back.
Go on, then. So yeah, camera breaks up a bit, but you can see what I was talking about. As he turns in, the rear just loses it, and how did he allow that to happen? This is the kind of stuff that you'd see in Formula Ford or not even.
And he turns in, and yeah, it's Brooklyn's the rear end just came round on him.
Yeah, he'd already put his foot down before he got onto the curb.
And that's a new permanent curb.
He goes on the entrance, turns in, and then it all sort of gives way. But that, like you said, Kroon, is all about sort of building up, getting that sort of temperature where it needs to be.
The yellow flag is for Antonio Giovinazzi, who seems to have dropped it in the gravel on the exit of the Vale chicane. So
the full safety car as well.
Full safety car.
Stack them back up.
Verstappen's going for it on Sebastian Vettel. He pulls out late once again, and he's got the job done. Going into Stowe, where Valtteri Bottas has pulled off some great moves. Oh no! Sebastian Vettel's gone into Max Verstappen, and under braking, he just couldn't slow down, and Vettel and Verstappen come together. Verstappen had pulled off the move, he was ahead of the Ferrari, and then he got rear-ended by Sebastian Vettel. And that has totally destroyed his race. Daniel Ricciardo goes for a spin on the entry to the pits. That might
that's a turn one.
Oh, turn one, sorry.
Yes. Exit.
I lost it.
It's taken him a while maybe to get his confidence back. It completely snapped on him, Paul, and he was heading to that wall before he could do anything about it. Oh, there's a spin! There's a spin, it's Sergio Perez! Perez is out of this race. Sergio Perez is behind Kevin Magnussen, and there he goes, sailing, literally. He's on the other side of the track. Oh, that is Carlos Sainz, and Carlos Sainz has managed to keep the engine running. He's right on board now. What happened?
Yeah, he's gone into that, there we go, it's the skating rink, the drag strip. Lucky to keep that going as well. Underneath it, doesn't it? Underneath the car, and all the little aero pieces, a lot of good. Just no grip at all.
Mate, you shouldn't give me the soft tyres. It's great for hard.
Norris has gone off as well.
He's just retiring from the race now.
Oh, no.
Oh, we got another spinner there while we're watching that.
Oh, Charles Leclerc's gone out, gone right and gone out. Leclerc has gone into the barriers at the penultimate turn, and a second Ferrari in the space of 2 races here at the German Grand Prix has ended up into the barriers. Try and keep off the curbs if you can.
Oh, he had that tiny bit of understeer, and now it's just going to skate straight into the barriers. It wasn't exactly pushing that hard, it just snapped to the back. He had to countersteer to turn into the slide.
And I think Lewis Hamilton's gone off as well, but he's carried on.
He's lost his front wing, hasn't he?
There's damage to the front wing, certainly. Hamilton went off at exactly the same spot. As you can see, managed to keep going.
How skatey that is, and just a little clout of the barrier, but he had some momentum when he hit the barrier, and now he obviously hasn't been able to go around the bollard.
There is the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg, and he's ending his home Grand Prix in the barriers, and another car in the barriers at the final corner.
That's just plain understeered off, hasn't it? And then that's caught him out. And he actually hitting the brakes was the worst thing he could do at that point.
Someone's gone off, and it's Lewis Hamilton who's gone off at the first corner. Manages to keep the car going, but now only has the Williams of Kubica and Russell behind him.
He's turned in and he's gone round. It's amazing that didn't make the barriers. Well, wow, he's just got a little bit wide and touched the wetter part of the track. It's not often you see Lewis making mistakes like that, but that's a driver error.
Oh, that's sliding out. That's Valtteri Bottas. Bottas is out of the race.
Safety car.
There'll be another safety car here as Valtteri Bottas, pushing hard to catch Lance Stroll, has spun off into the barriers. And they're going wide. That's Gasly. There's a problem there with his front wing.
He tried to overtake the Toro Rosso down into turn 6. I just saw that before. I think they might have touched Crofty. And I think he just runs into the back of him as he pulls to the right.
He does.
No! So Albon went for the defence, and Gasly was going to the right. They both went right together.
Lance Stroll having a spin, rear end just getting away from him at the chicane.
Yeah, a little bit too much curb on the left-hand side of the chicane. Oh, Max had a spin in the last corner.
All the good work done there by Max Verstappen.
Well, okay, Max.
Yeah,
Magnus
unbelievable about this session. It's so sensitive. Unbelievable. You just keep sliding on entry.
And there is going to be a yellow flag and possibly a red waving for some time because Alex Albon has crashed quite severely.
He's sure he dipped the left rear wheel. Yeah, I think he's got his wheels on the grass just ever so slightly.
Did you hear the little ping where the I think the wheel must have come off the tyre came off the rim?
I didn't know.
Yeah, as it landed, there was a little ping.
It's such a simple error to make.
The final corner, Charles Leclerc going into it. Has he had a spin? Yes, he has.
Oh, rear wing as well.
Dear.
That's another Charles Leclerc mistake, I'm afraid. At a pivotal point, he's done a fast enough time to get him through. He needs to get back to the pits.
I'm in the wall, guys. Sorry.
I'm looking at the way it went in to try and assess damage, and obviously not going in at the rear is always good for gearboxes. He will have the race gearbox in the car for today. Sebastian Vettel tucks in behind Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton on the inside trying to get at Vettel. Kimi Räikkönen has been made contact with and is bouncing over the curb, as is Nico Hülkenberg back there with the Renault as well. And that is out. That is Max Verstappen out already. And you can hear the groans. Let's have a look here on the inside. Räikkönen and Verstappen, that's where the contact was made there.
That could well have damaged the steering rod. You can see his steering's not activating as it is. Well, he nearly took somebody else with him.
That is the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi, and he's gone off at Pouon.
He dropped it mid-corner, that's unusual.
Yeah.
Antonio, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Brilliant news, that's what I wanted to hear. Taking it very steady, and then he kicks on the power, and that's the end of that pull. Carlos Sainz,
and this normally is a higher speed corner in the dry, but in the wet you can see how slow he's going.
Nice run on that curve. Okay, copy.
Oh dear Sergio Perez, fastest man in last year's FP1 here at Monza, and he has gone rearwards into the barrier, and we've got our second red flag of this session.
Scary chicane exit, isn't it?
Yeah, looks like Sainz have a spin there earlier. Just imagine he's got that wet curve on the exit, and rears let go.
This is the Formula 1 equivalent of Bambi on ice out there at the moment. They really are struggling with any grip whatsoever.
Yeah, just losing the rear end. He goes over the curb. It's too much, and yeah, loses the rear.
Honestly, he's just going to. It's a very slow spin, isn't it?
This could stop it in time, and slowly but surely, around he goes.
He was on all the damp bit all the way in there. The tyres would have been so cool.
And into the barriers goes Kimi Räikkönen on pole last year here at Monza. Räikkönen in the Alfa at the Parabolica has gone off the track and into the barriers, and they've red flagged the session. Let's have a look on the rundown to the Parabolica. The back end just went.
Yeah, no chance. I don't think it was even on power, to be honest. I think it just. But that's almost certainly going to be a gearbox to be replaced as well.
Pierre Gasly just ahead of Max Verstappen, as you said, Martin was hanging back, being cautious.
Yeah, Max being extremely cautious.
They slowed down, and his closing speed was a bit more, I think, than he actually felt was going to be happening. But he's going to fight back now into the first of the two Lesmo corners. Alex Albon on the outside, and Carlos Sainz, and they touch, and Albon goes off onto the gravel. Oh, there's Sebastian Vettel, and he's spun. Oh, and he's coming onto the track just as Lance Stroll goes past him as well. And there's anxious faces now. On the look of the Tifosi, he must have hit Stroll. And Stroll now comes back onto the track. And Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso has to go wide, all down in the Ascari chicane. Right, so that's Sebastian Vettel spinning all on his own. Comes back under the track. Oh dear, oh dear. Is it a grande move from Lewis Hamilton towards the Della Roggia chicane? Leclerc's on the inside. Hamilton goes onto the gravel and has to take to the escape road. And you can hear the cheers from Monza all the way back to Stevenage. The Ferrari fans loved it.
He didn't leave me own car's width there, push me off.
Valtteri Bottas is in the wall, and he's gone into the wall quite deep on those hard compound tyres, and it's brought out the red flag, which doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Is this turn 19?
Yeah, 19. He lost the rear on the turning, Crofty.
That's where he hit the wall before, and then we can see now. So everything okay? Oh,
very violent turning to turn 19. He was super aggressive to try and get the front end in there, and the rear just couldn't keep up. He realised that he was going offline. Yeah, it touches the ground. It touches the ground quite heavily. I wonder if the bumps have caught him out there as he's on the brake. Yeah, you really see the front sort of bob up and down. I think he's just caught him out.
Yeah, we just need to avoid talking into corners.
Apologies.
using the medium tyre for the entirety of this race, and he's trying to defend against Daniel Ricciardo, and they contact at turn 7. But he just sees a gap and he goes through it. That's what Ricciardo does. As we talk about the potential for a safety car, we have a Williams in the wall, and I think that could be George Russell. It is George Russell. What's happened? Grosjean and Williams, Grosjean and Russell tangling. Russell gets tagged by Grosjean and sent into the wall.
It has to be, for me, at least a virtual safety car or full safety car. Lots of debris on the track. Have to clean that up.
You do it?
Yeah, copy.
I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry, guys.
George Russell not happy with Romain Grosjean. Raikkonen's under pressure once again from Kvyat. Kvyat's going to have a go into turn 1. Oh dear!
Broken suspension.
That is Kimi Raikkonen out of the Grand Prix. Danny Kvyat got it all wrong, braking and arriving from late. Is that another safety car in this race?
We're slightly. Kvyat was slightly ahead.
This is into turn 13.
Max, have you hit anything?
I think I just scratched the outside barrier.
He is, he's through the first sector.
Oh, that's Alex Albon, and he's gone into the barriers at turn 13, and he's gone in a very hefty way. That is his session over, and he will get knocked out in Q1, and there's a red flag as well.
It's not locked to front. Oh, he's just carried a bit too much speed, and you can see when the rear becomes disconnected, it's like somebody pulling up the handbrake, and yeah, I mean, for somebody that was low in confidence already.
You okay?
That's not going to help. And Grosjean's out. Grosjean's out of this race, and here's a third to add to his tally. Now he's tangled there with Ricciardo, and Ricciardo sent him spinning off into the barriers.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looked like Grosjean was turning in. I think Ricciardo was up the inside. There's Giovinazzi. He's up the inside, or Ricciardo's on the inside of Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi has nowhere to go. Ricciardo's got nowhere to go, and Grosjean, he's unexpected. Probably hasn't been able to see. You're going 3 cars abreast, and he's been the unlucky one. I don't really think anybody's at fault there. Oh, George Russell in the safety barrier under virtual safety car.
About turn 8, I think that is.
Something's broke.
Yeah.
He's lost the brakes on. He's lost the brake pedal. I'll tell you. luckily he was going slow. This track is mighty quick, especially when you get to the likes of turn 13.
Now you ask Carlos Sainz, who had that massive accident.
Why could you say why could you say the brake was broke? Because you could see that one tyre was rotating and one tyre was locked up.
Yeah. Someone is in the wall, and it's Williams right in front of our commentary box. It's Robert Kubica. And we can see there a red flag already. Let's just have a little look. He's got on the grass. Oh, once you get on the grass, Paul, there's no escaping.
No, it's not like a car snapped or anything. He just ran out of road, didn't he?
Yeah, oh, and it's another spin. So I think he's gone into the barriers as well. And it's one of the Hasses. We've got another red flag. It's Kevin Magnussen. This is what happened to Kevin Magnussen. Oh, the wind's got him already. It's just a passenger, isn't it?
Well, you could see he was actually trying to do the best he could as he was reversing in the wall there. But you're never gonna be quite up to speed to save that one.
That to me, Paul, looked like a gust of wind and nothing to do with driver there at all.
I actually think if he'd stayed on the brakes, he would have stopped. But it was when he released the brakes at that point, on it went. But of course, what he was trying to do was avoid the car going too far one way.
Vettel in second place, and through on the outside goes Max Verstappen now. Charles Leclerc's on the inside, Verstappen's challenging, and they touched! Verstappen spins round as he tangles with Charles Leclerc. Where should I go? You just gonna sit into my car. Oh dear. I'm going to say Alex Albon getting past Lando Norris, but that's what happened at the chicane.
He forced me off.
Oh, and out of the race! Out of the race is Sergio Perez! And out of the points is Sergio Perez as well. And he has gone off at the S's.
The exit of turn 2, Coffee.
This is what happened to Sergio Perez. Now, did he tangle with the Toro Rosso?
Hard to see from that angle, isn't it? Here we go. Oh, yes.
The
Bit of
answer
body
is
work
yes.
there, yeah.
So Pierre Gasly was the driver on the inside in a race that started with two cars colliding at turn 2, ends with two different cars colliding at turn 2.
Oh, it's in the wall.
Wow. In the wall. As there's no way you're going to avoid the wall once, and even at a corner that's 65 miles an hour, it is not a fast corner there.
He just lost the rear, didn't he? And that medium compound tyres, it's quite hard to warm up. But
there's a little flick if you're in the car to the right, and I think that might have unsteadied there. It goes on a curve. It's like a little steering action. See, yeah, see that little sort of actually opposite lock going the other way. It's like the back steps out on that curve.
Sorry.
Oh, too early. Ooh.
Alex Albon has gone into the wall, as you can see in his Red Bull.
Sorry. Are you okay?
It's that sort of patter on that curb that really does sort of take that grip away from the rear end. That's what snapped on him.
Give them an inch, they'll take a metre, won't they?
As always.
This is Charles Leclerc down at turn 1, boys. Got on the curb.
Yeah, that curb, yeah, that clonk, which I think is probably the floor. That curb will see it probably better there. Yeah, I think it's just touching there. Very lucky, wasn't it?
He's locked the rear axle.
And there is the Mercedes. Well, the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas through the Peraltada has gone into the barrier. That is qualifying over.
Are you okay, Valtteri? Yep. Okay, so the car is safe.
Oh dear. Did he catch the curb there? He did, didn't he?
And then that piece of barrier sticks out, doesn't it? The polystyrene bit that eventually hits sticks out.
And that would be why Martin is breathing very heavily there, because that's a very sudden stop. Charles Leclerc into turn 1, ahead of Vettel, Verstappen on the inside, and Hamilton is forced a little bit wide, and they're all getting into contact with each other. Hamilton and Verstappen are on the grass. The two McLarens now ahead of Valtteri Bottas as well. What has happened here, going through the stadium section? We're on board with Danny Fiat. Have they made contact here? Yes, they have, and he's gone into the wall, Hulkenberg.
Oh, and it was that bump on the turning, wasn't it, that caught him out.
That is Romain Grosjean. He's lost a front wing, as you can see.
And front suspension.
Yeah, he's
absolutely.
really damaged that.
Are you okay? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay, but the car's not.
Yeah, so unlike Sainz, Grosjean was able to catch the first snap, and then unfortunately it's gone the other way and sent him into the barrier, but the car initially reacted exactly the same way as the McLaren from Sainz in FP1.
Well, that's costly.
Wow, yes, that 14, just losing the rear end on traction.
That was strange. It was a bit like those Kimi spins we've seen in Canada, wasn't it? Where
a bit of a spike in power.
Spike in power almost.
Bottas into the first turn, is ahead of Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. There is contact between Albon and Carlos Sainz. They go off the track and rejoin.
Oh, look at that.
What's happened there? Sebastian Vettel has massive problems.
Broken
and part of his suspension, must have broken, as I think he left the track.
I think he went across those really bad bumps at turn 9 on the outside, particularly wide.
So it's rear suspension that's gone.
It's just overloaded the rear suspension.
I think the suspension just failed. Yeah, failed. Something broke.
And out of the race goes Kevin Magnussen, unless he can dig that Haas out of the gravel. What's happened to Kevin Magnussen down there? I wonder. That is not the way he would have wanted. If those double wave yellows at the end of the back straight, Anthony Davidson, stop any overtakes.
Telltale puff of smoke there from the right-hand brake, Crofty, I think.
Albon's hit the wall on red flag.
Yeah, and he has hit the wall. So here we go. Whoa.
Wet grass, wet grass.
You're not going to stop there, are you? That's not even any chance to turn the car around, but maybe going in front facing was the best way.
Yeah, copy.
I think it's too slippery.
This is Robert Kubica.
But yeah, he's got the left, it's the rear left, Crofty. He'd actually, I think he's come off the curb. He's actually on the white line at the moment where it snapped, but just a little bit greedy with the right foot.
He's dipped a wheel onto the curb, and he's gone down exactly the same slope that Alex Albon went.
So he's locked the rear axle on braking and downshift.
Ricciardo down the inside into the Esquina de Largo. Oh, he locks up. Magnussen spins round as they make contact, and it's damage to the front wing of Daniel Ricciardo's Renault. And he moves himself up into 4th place. Vettel will get DRS down the Retta Poste. Can he now fight back? Leclerc made it very tough earlier. And for the no, he's got a puncture. They make contact, and Charles Leclerc's got a puncture caused by contact with his teammate Sebastian Vettel.
It's actually a broken front suspension as well, steering arm or something. And
Vettel's got problems too.
This is totally self-inflicted here with Ferrari.
Safety car's been deployed. We have another safety car in this race. That was that little touch there. And it's...
The Puncture, what the hell is he doing? Sorry. Puncture. My God, put that
And Alex Albon has Hamilton troubles here as he turns in. Oh, and Lewis Hamilton makes contact with Alex Albon. His first podium in Formula One is sent spinning and drifting away in the infield at Interlagos.
Alex, fault? You left the door too. He left the door wide open. It was such an invitation for Lewis Hamilton there.
Oh, hello. That was into the barriers.
It's the 19 over the curb on power, and pretty much what Sebastian Vettel did.
Dives down the inside. Oh dear.
What the f was that?
That was a little bit avoidable, and sadly neither driver chose to do so. Whether Romain Grosjean knew he was coming or not, and even if he doesn't quite know if Fauci's going to make the lunge or not, you leave a bit of space, don't you?
Didn't leave any space.
We've got Ferrari backwards outside our window here,
It's
Crofty.
Sebastian Vettel who has gone spinning on the main straight.
Yeah, he's waited so long, he's not really pushed it on the outlap, and that's a beginner's mistake.
Let's just have a look here. Antonio Giovinazzi getting past Robert Kubica. Did they touch? Oh, they did. The bit came off Giovinazzi's car as well. Can get a better look on board here. Antonio Giovinazzi, of course, who's led a Grand Prix during 2019 in Singapore. Bang.
So wonder Kubica wasn't upside down there.
So strong.